There's an expression which comes up in English from time to time, which is rather strange, and it's "there's the rub," which means there's the problem. And people often wonder, how can "there's the rub" mean this is the problem when, as far as we know, the verb to rub means strofinare. And we looked into this and found out the reason. Of course, everybody knows that the expression "there's the rub," well, not everybody, but most people know that the expression "there's the rub" comes from the famous "to be or not to be" soliloquy in Hamlet. But nobody knows really why "there's the rub" means this is the problem. And looking into this, we discovered that, in fact, the rub is a little piece in the ground, a sort of bump in the ground, which creates a problem, which, like if you're playing a sport and you roll the ball along the ground and it hits this little divot, this piece of ground, it goes out of play, or its course gets changed, and that's called the rub. And and in Shakespeare's day, there's the rub. The rub meant, people knew that it meant this little piece of ground that created problems, and that's how "there's the rub" was picked up by Shakespeare. But in actual fact, the term "rub" in this sense continues. It's still used in golf, which is a kind of strange. They talk about the rub of the green. It's when you're putting on the green, the ball moves slowly and it hits a little divot and goes out of its way, causing you problems. That's why "there's the rub" means what it does. However, fans of progressive rock might remember the album by Wishbone Ash, which was called "There's the Rub," and which came out in 1974. And big fans of prog rock might remember the album cover, which features a cricketer holding a ball against his white cricketing trousers, because basically in cricket you rub the ball to have effect in its trajectory when you're bowling at the batsman, just in the same way that in baseball the pitcher sometimes spits or puts earth on the ball to affect it. So when Storm Thorgerson, who was this great character who designed a lot of album covers, including Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, when he did the Wishbone Ash cover, he had the great idea of putting a picture of a cricketer rubbing his trousers with the ball, because the album was called "There's the Rub," therefore highlighting the double meaning of the word rub.